Good evening, Eagles fans, and welcome to another edition of Eagles Insider, where we break down all the highs, lows, and everything in between for our beloved birds. I'm your host, and tonight, folks, we've got a story that's got the city of brotherly love buzzing, and not in the way we'd hoped. Picture this, it's Week 6 in the NFL season, and the Philadelphia Eagles, those gritty warriors from Lincoln Financial Field, are facing off against their archrivals, the New York Giants, in a divisional showdown that always feels like a family feud gone wrong. But instead of soaring high, our Eagles came crashing down in a 34-17 defeat that left fans scratching their heads and players venting frustrations. What happened to the team that once lifted the Lombardi Trophy in 2017? Are the cracks starting to show in this powerhouse squad? Stick with me as we dive deep into this one. It's got drama, disappointment, and a whole lot of heart. Let's get into it. First off, let's set the scene from that fateful Sunday at MetLife Stadium. The Eagles rolled in with a solid 4-1 record, looking to assert dominance in the NFC East, a division that's always been a bloodbath, with rivals like the Dallas Cowboys and those pesky Giants lurking to steal the crown. But oh boy, did things unravel fast. The game started promising enough. Saquon Barkley, our star running back who jumped ship from those very same Giants to join the Eagles in a blockbuster move last offseason, exploded out of the gates. He ripped off an 18-yard run, then a 13-yarder, powering the offense down the field like a freight train. You could almost hear the echoes of "Fly, Eagles, Fly" chanting in the background, that iconic anthem that's rallied Philly fans since the 1960s, turning every game into a symphony of green passion. But then, poof, the magic vanished. The Eagles' offense, which has been teasing us all season with glimpses of brilliance, went flat. Predictable play calling, folks. We're talking about a unit that's got weapons galore, Jalen Hurts at quarterback, that dual-threat phenom who's rewritten the Eagles' record books with his arm and legs, A.J. Brown, the beast of a wide receiver who's built like a tank and catches everything in sight, Devonta Smith, the slim reaper with hands like glue, and don't forget the heart and soul up front, even if Jason Kelce's retired. His brother Travis might be across the league, but that Kelce legacy of toughness lingers in the trenches. Yet, against the Giants, it all stalled. The Birds were outrushed 172-73, a stat that stings when you remember how Philly's identity has always been built on pounding the rock, dating back to legends like Brian Westbrook or even the great LeSean McCoy. And here's where the frustration boiled over. Saquon Barkley, that 26-year-old powerhouse from Penn State, remember, he was the number 2 overall pick in 2018, racking up over 5,000 rushing yards in his career before crossing enemy lines to Philly, finally let loose in the postgame presser. He's been patient all season, talking about how the offense is close to clicking, but after this letdown, he wasn't having it. It's little things. We're close, but to be honest, I'm tired saying how close we are. I know everyone else is tired saying how close we are. We just got to go do it, Barkley said, his voice carrying that edge of a leader who's done with excuses. This isn't just talk, fans. It's a challenge, a wake-up call echoing through the locker room. Barkley's not one to mince words. He's the guy who overcame a torn ACL in 2020 and came back stronger, embodying that Philly grit we all love. Now, let's talk about the game itself, because this wasn't just a loss, it was a blueprint for disaster. The Eagles' defense, already banged up with key pieces sidelined, think about the absence of stalwarts like Fletcher Cox's spiritual successors on that line, looked a step slow. Giants rookies like Jackson Dart at quarterback and Cam Sketabo in the backfield played with that fearless, reckless abandon, slicing through our guys like a hot knife through butter. Dart, that young gun from Ole Miss, threw darts, pun intended, all night, while Sketabo powered their ground game. Meanwhile, our Birds couldn't convert, 1 for 9 on third downs, that's abysmal. 2 turnovers, including Jalen Hurts' first interception of the season, a pick that shifted momentum big time. And get this, 0 points in the entire second half. The offense didn't just stall, it disappeared, managing only 20 yards on their first 3 drives after halftime. Speaking of Hurts, the 27-year-old superstar who's led us to the Super Bowl and holds the Eagles' single-season record for total touchdowns with 38 back in 2022, owned up to it like the leader he is. "You have to move on. I've got to make better decisions," he admitted. But folks, this goes beyond the QB. The offensive line, once the gold standard under coaches like Jeff Stoutland, remember how they paved the way for that epic Philly special in Super Bowl 52? Got pushed around. Play calling from head coach Nick Sirianni and offensive coordinator Kellen Moore lacked that spark, that creativity we've seen in past seasons. Why abandon Barkley after his hot start? Tactical analysis here. The Giants loaded the box, daring Hurts to beat them through the air, but our route seemed telegraphed. Compare that to last year, when the Eagles averaged 25.5 points per game. This season, through 6 weeks, we're hovering around 22, and that's with a roster that's arguably more talented. But wait, there's more intrigue, and it's juicy. Wide receiver A.J. Brown, that 6 feet 1 inch, 226-pound force who hauled in over 1,400 yards last season, was asked about a players' only meeting that Hurts confirmed happened. Brown's response? He claimed he didn't recall it, over and over, which straight up contradicts his QB. What's going on there? Is there a disconnect in the locker room? This hints at deeper issues, maybe egos clashing or communication breakdowns in a unit that's supposed to be tight-knit. Remember, the Eagles' success has always been about that brotherhood. Think back to the days of Brian Dawkins, Weapon X, patrolling the secondary with ferocity, or Reggie White, the Minister of Defense, sacking quarterbacks left and right in the 80s and 90s. Those legends built a culture of unity, and right now, it feels a bit fractured. Let's put this in historical context, because as Eagles fans, we know our history is rich with triumphs and heartbreaks. This loss drops us to 4-2, still in the hunt, but echoes of the 2023 collapse linger. Remember when we started 10-1 and fizzled out? Or go further back to the Andy Reid era with Donovan McNabb, that gunslinger who led us to 5 NFC championship games but only 1 Super Bowl. Rivalries like this one with the Giants? They've been heated since the 1930s, with Philly holding a slight edge overall at 93-87-2, but New York has won the last 4 meetings. Statistically, our defense ranks 15th in yards allowed this year, down from top 10 last season, and offensively, Barkley's on pace for 1,200 yards, but we need more balance. Compared to the 2017 champs, that team rushed for over 2,000 yards as a unit. We're projecting about 1,800 now, but with better protection, it could explode. To get some insider perspective, I reached out, fictionally of course, to a few voices. Imagine Eagles legend Brian Dawkins in the booth. "These boys need to channel that Weapon X mentality," he'd growl. "Hit hard, communicate, and leave it all on the field. Saquon's right, talk's cheap, action wins rings." Or picture a fan at a Philly tailgate, cheesesteak in hand. "I've been bleeding green since the '80 miracle at the Meadowlands." This team's got the talent, but they gotta gel like the '08 squad that made the NFC title game. Even Coach Sirianni might say in a presser, "We're addressing it head-on. Mini-bye week's our reset button, expect fire next time out." Looking ahead, this defeat could be a turning point. At 4-2, we're still atop the NFC East, but the Cowboys and Commanders are nipping at our heels. Implications? Playoff seeding's on the line. If we fix the offense, Hurts could lead us to another deep run, maybe even facing off against pop culture darlings like the Chiefs and Taylor Swift's entourage. Predictions. I see Barkley bouncing back with a 150-yard game soon, and the defense tightening up. But if cracks widen, we might see trades or scheme overhauls by the deadline. Seasonal impact. A win streak could lock in home field advantage at the Link, where the crowd's roar is worth 7 points. Eagles Nation, this isn't the end, it's a gut check. Remember our motto, "Fly Eagles Fly." We've risen from ashes before, like after the Chip Kelly era or the Carson Wentz saga. So, rally up, grab your gear, and tune in for the next game against the Commanders. Will the birds soar again? You bet they will. Thanks for joining me. Stay passionate, stay Philly. Until next time, go Birds!